Black women, you are.
First foremost, I start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rukwak Kwadash, double honor to the apostles, elders, bishops, a great millstone who rule well and also taught me this truth. Shalom to your Akim, pushing the truth and sincerity, and use your body as a living sacrifice, as the scriptures say. Shalom to the few sisters, the very few sisters that listen in silence, as the scriptures say. I'm Korah of Children of Light with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua. And I ran across this video and I wasn't gonna do a lesson on it, but the spirit, you know, told me, yeah, just do a lesson on it. And hey, it's over with for Eve, man. Even Eve is tired of Eve, man. And I'm talking about the hyenas, you know, the so-called nigger woman, man. You know, they they're man, they're they're super disrespectful, and they full of hate, you know, even to their own. And they have the nerve to say that we're a hate group. No, we're a truth group. We speak the truth, you know. But the black woman, man, she's totally out of that, man. You know, and that's what we telling you brothers to stay away from them. Stay as far as away as you can, man, because they're nasty. You know, look at the children. You know, look at the so-called YN culture. You know, this is Second Ezra 5:8. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be off sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places. Right, and ministrous women shall bring forth monsters. And these are those minstrels women, man. You know, brought forth the monsters that YN culture. You know, that I could do bad all by myself mentality. You know, that I'd rather spend 100% on my own bills than to go 50-50 with a man. They bring forth these hyper emotional young men that's full of estrogen because they react like women, and that's how come they have to tote guns and kill each other off of emotions. You know, um, but yeah. So with no further ado, I'm just gonna play the video.
Black women, you are some of the most nasty, disrespectful people. But any man that feels that he has the right to disrespect a woman that has never done anything to them because they want to feel whatever and they realize that they will never have to say what they say under a picture or a video of me, something that is nasty and hurtful, and you want to put it there, you do that because you a bitch. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Man, y'all got
Before
Killing
I was
Christ out
saved,
here
I was a black
acting
girl
up.
born and raised on the south side of Jamaica. So let's make that abundantly clear. Okay? That's number one. Number two, to you women activists out here, you DEI hires who getting ready to lose your job if you haven't lost.
And she absolutely right. And those are the majority of the people who lost their jobs. You know, DEI DEI hired. Um, real quick, it says black women, and this is from the AI overview. Black women have experienced significant job losses due to federal workforce cuts and corporate DEI rollbacks. Right, and I believe the DEI is diverse equity, and inclusion. You know, basically protective measures put in for career advancement opportunities. for the so-called black woman, and that's how she felt so proud and high and mighty and looked down on the average Jake man. If you're working like a regular job like construction or transportation or maintenance, or let's say you're a plumber or electrician, they look down on that type of shit because they feel like they make so much more money that they actually have authority over you. And remember what the scriptures say: uh, a woman shouldn't usurp authority over a man. You know, so Esau has turned everything upside down, and this devil knew exactly what he was doing when he set this system up. That's why you have the Statue of Liberty, you know, which is a woman, to liberate the woman. That's what the whole movement in the '60s was about. What is it? What was it? The women's lib movement. You know, that's what that was all about. Uh, it was a period of intense feministic, you know, activism, and it started in the '60s, and it had the and it was created by the small hats. And who you had join themselves right side by side with the small hats? It was a so-called Negro woman, and I can't remember her name at the moment. Um, yeah, I definitely can't remember her name right now, but you can look it up and go into it and get the details. But yeah, that's those DEIs, right? I believe they lost over 300,000 jobs in the first half of this year. Those were the ones who felt it the most, and you gonna feel it, and those the ones that's gonna feel it the most in Jacob's trouble, you know, which we are already in. This is just the beginning of it, you know. This is the beginning of it. But trust me, it's a thing called gradualism, where things are gonna progressively get worse and worse for you women, you know. And got me thinking about this a scripture um where it says a woman shall compass a man, right? This is the Jeremiah 31:22. For long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter. We're speaking of the Israelites as a whole, you know, beginning with the men. For the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, had created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. And that's what have happened over the last few decades. You know, they have gotten a lot of benefits for not having men around. They give you they gave them welfare, they gave them housing, right? They gave them what is it? The food cards, EBT, whatever, metro, whatever, however you want to put it, right? Career advancements, job opportunities, child support, and all of that stuff is being cut. Section 8, the jobs, you know. But these are some all of that pride, right? All of that pride, you know, they'll become like the Edomites themselves. I don't need nothing, I don't need nobody. Okay, right? Your reckoning is coming. But Salaki, let me finish playing the video.
Lost it already? Because guess what? I haven't lost mine. And I'm not going to lose it. Because while you fighting for somebody in another culture to get your job, God gave me my voice. And yes,
And she's absolutely
I
right.
don't know what y'all.
I don't want to hear what he got to say, but she's absolutely right. Because if anybody be given anything, it comes from up above, you know? And these women got some nerve because they always talking about, well, a man can't tell you what to do with my body. A man ain't. But guess who makes the laws? Guess who runs the company you work for? You know, like this woman just said, shit. Look who you're fighting a man from a different culture for your rights. You know, everything you got, he gave it to you. Got me thinking of that scripture, John 8:44. Ye are of your father the devil, right? And hold on. I'm thinking of First Timothy 5 as well. Bear with me real quick. I know I wasn't even trying to make this video long, but Salakia, it is what it is. If you don't like it, click off. Okay, this is First Timothy 5:1. Rebuke not the elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren, the elder women as mothers, the younger as sisters, with all purity. Honor widows that are widows indeed. But if any widow have children or nephews, right? Let me read this in the NLT. Bear with me. This in the NLT. So see what that says. Okay, First Timothy 5:1. And the subheading says advice about widows, elders, and slaves. But okay, 5:1. Never speak harshly to an older man, but appeal to him respectfully as you would to your own father. Talk to younger men as you would to your own brothers. Treat older women as you would your mother, and treat younger women with all purity as you would your own sisters. Take care of any widow who has none else to care for her. But if she have children or grandchildren, their first responsibility is to show godliness at home and repay their parents by taking care of them. This is something that pleases the Most High. But not, Salakia, now a true widow, a woman who is truly alone in this world, has placed her hope in the Most High. She prayed day and night, asking God for his help. But the widow who lives only for pleasure is spiritually dead while she living. And that's a lot of our women. You know, they live in pleasure, luxury, trips, partying. You know, they don't, they don't, um, they don't better responsibility to show godliness at their home. You know, or to repay their parents, like it says in the fourth verse. You know, and your parents and as well as your teachers. You know, now a true widow, a woman who's truly alone in this world, has placed her hope in the Most High, and we all should place our hopes into Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. She prayed day and night and asking God for his help. Sixth verse. But the woman, right, or widow, who lives only for pleasure is spiritually dead even while she lives. Give these instructions to the church so that no one will be open to criticism. But those who won't care for their relatives, especially those in their own household, and that's what you see a lot of them doing, because the children out here running wild. Where are the mamas? Mamas out partying. They on vacation. They at the concerts. They at the day parties, right? Everywhere but God in that house, raising it up in goodliness, raising the children up to fear the Lord, you know, looking after her elders. No, they don't do that. They burden the elders with the responsibility of their children. And not only are the elders watching raising the children, and we know this through generations, the mother is out and the grandmother is raising the kids. But the mother don't just stop at one, two kids. The mother end up with three, four baby daddies, five, six, seven kids. And that burden is left with the elderly. And it was a recent article about the young lady that was killed at one of the rappers' video shoots in Chicago. I believe his name G Herbo. And the woman wasn't even in her 30s yet. And she got murdered during some shootout or whatever. You can look the story up. But the woman was in her 20s, and I believe she had like seven kids. She had seven children. So what are you doing out 2, 3 in the morning partying? with your children at home, you know? But Salakia, let me finish playing this video. Sorry.
Did to piss Kelly Price off, but she going clean off on black women. So apparently, there was a discussion. Uh, I guess in her comments of a post that she made, and it had a lot of black women feeling some type of way about the post, and they were just saying stuff that I guess was just nasty. And Kelly Price went clean off, and she had to address some stuff and get some stuff off her chest. Listen, it's a lot of women that are just
Yeah, Salakia. Yeah, that was there on him. But let me finish reading this verse and then I'm gonna close up. Okay, so it says back in the KJV. Okay, it says sixth verse, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth, and these things give in charge that they may be blameless. Um, but if any provide not for his own, especially for those of his household, he denieth the faith and is worse than an infidel. You know, and that go for you men too. You know, if if you don't take care of your own home, man, you know, hey, ain't no point in making these children if you're not providing. And if you don't see yourself being with that woman, man, don't even lay down with her. Put a Jimmy hat on, man. Oh man, say, I put the rubber on tighter. Okay, is that your chick, Jay-Z? You know. All right, okay. All right, this is let me jump down though. Let me jump down to 10. Well, 11, 9, so like it. Well, I'm keep going. Let not a widow be taken into the number under 60 years old, which is 60, having been the wife of one man. And you can't say that about a lot of these women. You know, you lay down with somebody that's technically your husband. You know, uh, well reported of for good works if she have brought up children, if she have lodged strangers, and if she has washed the saints' feet. You ain't finding that nowhere today. You know, like I said, they full of pride, man, because them getting all them benefits, you know, and that welfare, that security, you know, it got them all high and mighty, you know, just fluff, full of pride, you know. But guess what? See that security is being swept right under from under their feet, brothers, and they about to get humbled real fucking quickly. And excuse my language, but it's the truth. Okay, it says, if she have relieved the afflicted, if she have diligently followed every good work, like Mary Magdalene, you know. But the younger widows refuse. You ain't getting these YBs. You know, they got the YNs, they got the YBs too. You're not getting these YBs to do none of that. You know, they more masculine than the men. For when they have begun to wax wanton against the anointed, they will marry, having damnation, because they have cast off their first faith. And what is their first faith? Knowing that they're Israelite and doing the works, you know, which is being in order, you know, following Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. That's the first faith, you know. They got the faith of this world, you know. They believe everything, but they have faith in nothing. They don't have no faith. You talk to any one of these women, they tell you, "Oh, I believe in God. I love Jesus. I love God." You know, and then uh, and then be like, "Nah, that don't. What you mean? I gotta be a help me? What you mean, the man, the head of the household? What you mean I can't eat no pork? What you mean you gonna tell me to shut the fuck up? No, you understand? So they have cast that off. And with thou, they learn to be idle because they super lazy. You go to the gym, you don't see them at the gym. Two places you won't see their ass at. One is the gym, you know, and the second one I can't think of at the moment. But for sure, you damn sure not seeing them at the gym. You're not. They idle. They lazy. It is what it is. Wandering about from house to house and house parties. Every time you see them, somebody birthday, hotel party, brunch, whatever, Friendsgiving, or getting their hair done to somebody, whatever. They go house to house. And not only idle, but tattlers, also busybodies. Yeah. Every time you see them, they gossiping or all over the fucking place. Go on your social media, man. Speaking things which they ought not to. Gossiping. I would therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house. See, these are your duties as a woman. That's your first faith. Give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. For some are already turned aside after Satan, you know? And that's the point. You know, a lot of them have already turned aside to Satan, man. You know, they nasty, they evil, they hateful, you know, and they take no accountability, you know. So with that, man, pray you edify until next time. And sorry for the long for the extended video, extensive video. So Salaki on that, man. But till next time, Shalom, Kwam Yasharala.